Charlie, how advantageous is it with time of possession? A lot of people have different views on time of possession, but for what y'all did to Florida the other day, they only had the ball for 24 minutes, and Mullen thought that was a huge difference in the game. Just how big of a key is that for y'all each week to win that battle?
It's huge. It really helps us. I mean, it really helps us out in the way that it gives our defense, time to rest on the sideline and get ready for the next drive against their offense. It keeps the ball away from Florida. It keeps the ball away from our opponent. Really, it's a big thing for us, and it wears them down too. Wears their defense down. By the end of the game, they're getting tired. And just, I guess when you look at it from outside and looking in, it really just kind of obvious you want the ball. You want to hold the ball more than they do, so it really helps us out.
And is that something that builds as the season goes on? When you consider y'all are ending here with 5 straight games against Power 5 teams with no open dates, if y'all get the ball for 33, 34, 35 minutes each week, do you think that has a kind of an effect that kind of grows throughout the season if y'all are winning that each week?
Definitely. I think it continually helps us out. It helps us win games every week, week in, week out. And I think it just continually helps us. It shows that we're executing. It's hard to have long drives, because it's usually something to mess up or something like that. But, to have that long of a drive, it really shows off that we've been practicing really hard and learned how to be better executing our plays.
And kind of along those lines, Kirby's mentioned that, the run game, especially in the SEC, is like a cumulative effect to kind of wear teams down on the course of the game. From a guy that's blocking those guys, kind of how do you see opponents wear down when, those 2-yard runs in the first half turn into maybe 5-6-yard runs in the second half?
It's hard to explain it in one side. You just feel it from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. It's like more of a first quarter it's a hit. It's maybe a little movement. Second, you're hitting them. They're moving back. By the fourth, you're finally hitting them, and they're starting to move back a little bit. And you're starting to get those big runs. But the run game's huge for us. Just to continue to do that throughout the game and wear a team down.
And with the schedule you've got coming up with wearing teams down, the time of possession thing, are you guys viewing this as a challenge maybe over these next 4 games, I guess, to impose your will on these teams and kind of actually wear them down going in the second half?
Definitely. That's been something Coach Smart's been trying to ingrain in us since I got here. To impose your will on our opponents and not make them for them to not want to play us again. And so. It's just Georgia, man, on the ball,
Charlie, is Missouri a tough team to figure out? They beat South Carolina by 20. When they're at home, they've looked really good, and away from home, they haven't. I don't know how much film you've watched them or followed them, but they seem to be kind of a Jekyll and Hyde depending on whether they're playing at home or on the road.
When with the SEC, man, I feel like it's hard to look at all that because every team's good in the SEC, and you have to come out every Saturday ready to play, and you have to be really locked in and practice all week. You're going to come out and lose that game on Saturday, because every team in the SEC has the ability to beat every team in the SEC on any given Saturday, more so than any other conference, I think, because every team in the SEC has the talent and the physicality to do so.
What are the strengths of the Missouri defense for this game?
I think they're really good up front. They have a lot of big guys up front, and I think they're coached really well. I don't know. I think that's going to be a really good game.
You and Eli with a couple big catches the other day in that game. How good did that feel in the tight end room afterward?
I felt really good. Yeah, it was exciting. It was fun to celebrate afterwards. To know that some of the hard work's paying off to catch a few balls and just to have fun.
Charlie, do you get, when it's a 7:00 game, do y'all get to watch other games throughout the course of a day? Like, I know obviously y'all are focused on y'all's game Saturday night, but will you get a chance to watch any of Bama?
Yeah, basically all we do is we have meetings a little bit here and there on Saturday. We'll kind of do some walkthroughs, but other than that, you kind of just have downtime. You don't want to continue to think about 7 p.m. You don't want to continue to think about Missouri. You want to kind of relax and take your mind off stuff. So we're in our rooms in the hotel. You got the TV. You can watch a movie. You can watch a game if you want to. It depends whichever you want to do.
Y'all, is it easier to watch a noon game than a 3:30 game, given y'all's schedule at a 7:00 kick?
Yeah, you can watch a 3:30 game. You're kind of getting into the back end of the day, and you're kind of doing a pregame meal and stuff. But yeah, you can watch a noon game.
Carly, in terms of the big picture for the rest of the season, so I know you all throw out terms, eliminate outside noise, game by game, every week. But when you look at the ultimate goal of this team, what do you think the Florida win did for the ultimate goal, and how do y'all go about looking at the rest of it?
Yeah, I think after South Carolina, we still knew that all of our goals were attainable. And all of our, we were still in control of our destiny. Per se. But I think finally beating Florida really gave us that over the hump. You know, like obviously we still have to beat Missouri and have a good end of the season, but beating Florida was kind of that statement where, hey, we're still Georgia. You know, the players never doubted. We never doubted amongst ourselves, but I think it was kind of a statement with people. You know, we're still here and ready to go to the SEC championship, and as our goal as a team to go to the national championship. We're still here to do that.
Is it funny to you how week to week people, you guys are the worst team they've ever seen. Now you've beaten Florida, you'll probably be the best team they've ever seen. You've seen a lot of that in your years here. How do you deal with it? And is it just funny to you at this point?
Yeah, I don't really deal with it. I don't really think about it too much because I've seen it for 4 years. You know, you see it everywhere. You can't really blame anyone. It's just how it goes. And I kind of laugh at it. You know, it's just. I mean, it is what it is, and that's what you get in the world of sports. You know, no matter what sport you're in, it kind of goes week to week with people loving you and hating you.
Charlie, what percentage of time were you out not blocking versus previous games? I know they talked about not worrying about guys staying into chip and that kind of thing. Was it more on the offensive line this game, and how did that change your role?
I mean, what do you mean? Like, did I not block as much?
Yes, I'm not talking about on the perimeter. I'm talking about for I guess pass protection.
I'm sorry. Could you reword that question?
Did your role change at all with what they did with just wanting 5 guys? Off?
Oh yeah, I mean I guess we definitely split out a little more blocking on the perimeter. I was definitely still in the box blocking a lot, but. More so, I was definitely out trying to, get 5 men in the box, for a good, clean, middle run. We did a lot of kind of just one backer in the box and was wide open when we were split out. So yeah.
What about on 3rd and long? How the offensive line managed to give Jake time this game?
Yeah, they were killing it, man. They worked really hard at it last week, and Jake and Trey Hill at center, and just them as a whole, they did really good. It's all that stuff. Is determined by pre-snap. You got to determine who you're going to, what guys you're going to with different blitzes coming and whatnot. They did a really good job pre-snap of, knowing who they're going to block and executing it.
You're a veteran and Cager's a veteran. What have you learned from him in his time here?
Man, he's a hard worker. He's resilient. I respect him a lot from coming from Miami, and just getting in here, meshing with guys, and really just coming into work. I've learned a lot from that. I guess his confidence that he brings and just his work ethic.
Before the Florida game, all the noise outside, and I know you guys say you don't listen to any of it, but could you sense a more intense determination on Jake's part going into Florida?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say for the whole team. The whole team. Coach Smart says don't listen to noise, and I think the whole team did a really good job of that, not listening to the outside noise. But the whole team, we had one of our best weeks of practice going into Florida. We were really determined to do well in that game.
What's your role this week as you take on a team that's kind of in a lull and kind of in a downtime, and you guys have everything in front of you?
That's the thing with the SEC. Yeah, you can say lulls and stuff, but you got to come out attacking the week with practice, or else you're gonna feel the effects on Saturday, and you're gonna slip up and possibly lose a game. I mean, we gotta start today and start the whole Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with just really good practices and just really being clean in our execution, so we can come out Saturday.
Charlie, concerning that outside noise, you go out there, you play like you did against Florida, no 3 and outs, all that stuff. Is there kind of like a satisfaction you get from that? Because you don't try to focus on the outside noise, but you get the questions from us and all that stuff. Is there a sense of satisfaction that goes out there when you go out there and proving yourself, maybe?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, definitely a little bit. Yeah, it's like, hey, you're kind of beating the haters and beating all the questions. You know what I mean? But I don't know. As a team, I don't know. I think we're a really mature team. I think it was more proving to ourselves that we could go out there and execute. Because there's been a lot of times this year we haven't executed the way we know we can execute. It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of a confidence booster. Going out there and we finally put a pretty clean game together.
What do you like about the night games?
I like the lights. It feels like high school, but other than that, it's a long day of waiting. I'd much prefer a noon to 3:30 game.
How do you fill your time?
And usually sitting around, I read a book, read my Bible, watch a little TV, just try to relax.
What was your reaction when those lights first came on against the first night game? You don't want to be the second night game. So.
It was awesome, man. Those red lights you're talking about? Yeah, that was crazy. Seeing those, they got me pretty juiced up, pretty amped up for the fourth quarter. It was a lot of fun.
When Eli first got here, what were sort of the things you picked up, sort of learned about him or sort of allowed him, that were going to allow him to be a successful and contributor to this team?
Who?
Eli Wolf?
Oh, Eli. Man, when he first got here, I know he's a really hard worker, really determined. I mean, to grad transfer, obviously already means you're a pretty determined player. And I don't know, he's a really hard worker, really puts a lot into the game, really smart player, really good asset for our team. I know he's going to help us out a lot this year.
What's the hardest type of defender to go up against? Like when you go out for passes, like a more athletic linebacker, or like what do you hope to see when somebody's guarding you?
I don't know. I don't really care. I just like to have it. It doesn't really matter to me. Any of us who go out for catches. Just kind of you gotta go into the play, have a plan, and find a way to beat that guy.
You watch any film on Nick Bolton, their linebacker?
Not a lot yet. No.
You guys seem to be really mentally prepared during big games. How does Coach Smart prepare you before Florida? Last game, even the SC championship, you guys are always mentally prepared. What's different in practice?
Man, it's just really intense. He puts the pressure on us during the week. So when the pressure hits, the adversity during the game, we're ready for it. That's something we do during the off season. During this fall camp, he always puts the pressure and adversity on, and that's all the coaches too, not just Coach Smart. They do a really good job, and we always are coming out ready for big games like that.
I know you treat every game the same, but how do you flip the switch from an emotional win like Florida and then back at home against Missouri at night like this?
To me, that's what I've been thinking about. Is like you got to come out, and it starts with practice. It starts with practice, meetings, walkthroughs. You got to really come out, and as much as your body hurts, as much as you're kind of mentally drained from emotional game, like you said. You just got to come out ready to practice at the beginning of the week to start to prepare yourself for Saturday. Because if you don't do that, you're going to end up slipping up on Saturday. So
does Coach Smart have a specific rule for the 24-hour rule where you enjoy it for so long then you get back in the game? Does he have anything like that?
I mean, it's never verbally said, I don't think, by him, but I guess it was assumed by everyone. So we don't continue to celebrate or think about it too much past Sunday. So.
How have you seen Cager and Fromm's relationship kind of develop? He's been here for a short amount of time, obviously, and offensively he's made some big plays for you guys. So have you seen anything that you can pinpoint since he's been here?
I see Cager working really hard at practice to go full speed, to get good timing on routes with Jake. Because a lot of that comes with a lot of good, quarterback receiver success comes with trust in practice. It comes with running good routes in practice the whole week, being dependable, being trustworthy. Ever since the summer, really, when Cager got here, he's been really hard worker and really tried to perfect his craft.
Have you seen the young receivers kind of, try to pick his brain a little bit or get help from him? He said that, as a freshman, you really don't approach the older guys, but have you seen him at all just be around him?
Yeah, I think it's more just Cager's, personality. He's a pretty fun guy to be around. He's pretty, he's a pretty welcoming dude. I think a lot of those young receivers take to him, and really just watching him and out at practice, I think they learn a lot from him.
After Jake hit Eli with that big first down catch, you see Jake kind of gets forced and kind of might give a little nod, I guess, toward the sideline. That Jake was probably better than anybody on the team. Just how big was this game for him personally?
Huge. I think it was huge for him, huge for the whole team. And that nod he gave, after he threw that big ball to Eli, it was kind of, it was the big first down, kind of seal the deal. It was relieving, because we've all put a lot of work into this game, and that play to finally kind of seal the deal was kind of the emotional part.
The kind of thing that surprised you, though. I mean, you've seen him make those kind of throws all the time, and I know people outside of this room, sometimes doubt the guy, but he keeps going.
Definitely, Jake's a really hard worker. He puts a lot of time into this game. The Florida game is always a big emotional game, especially for fans. So it was a big relief to finally know that the hard work paid off.